is filled with seemingly odd quirks that on the surface don't make much sense. A prime example is how table tennis became the icebreaker that altered the course of China-U.S. relations in the 20th century. In 1971, the U.S. table tennis team received an official invitation to visit China and play exhibition matches against the Chinese team. The team was the first delegation of Americans to visit China in decades. Their trip was the start of what became known as Ping-Pong Diplomacy, which helped lay the groundwork for establishing official diplomatic relations between the two countries. Now, 53 years later, a group of 12 students from the University of Virginia are taking a turn at Ping-Pong Diplomacy. I'm on my way to join them in Beijing. Beijing is their second stop in China after Hong Kong, the same itinerary the U.S. team had way back in 1971. While it's chilly outdoors, there's a heated match inside the arena.
I feel that the table tennis players in China have a different play style, and their balls are more spinny, whereas the U.S. focuses on more power-based play.
This exceeded my expectations. Honestly, I didn't know what to expect, but just coming into the stadium with 5,000 seats is amazing.
We actually strategized, and he was like, my partner was really hardworking and like thinking about new strategies, and he even taught me his new signals to like do under the table.
I was struggling a little bit. I kept hitting the ball over the table, and she showed me like the proper way to hit it, like facing downwards.
As each UVA student was paired with a student from Tsinghua University, they chatted with their partner about school and life in their home country.
因为我们两个都是学计算机的，然后我们聊了一些就是专业上的事情，然后包括就是未来的发展。
One of the restaurants, Heidi Lao, she was talking about the differences between the United States menu and the Chinese menu, and I thought that was pretty interesting.
哦，现在是连续，准备好了吗？
他的中文特别好，他学过10年中文。
And then we got ITTF balls. And then we got a case which comes with a pedal. So we're gonna let our Tsinghua 朋友 sign this.
I'm back in Shanghai as the tour continues at International Table Tennis Federation Museum and China Table Tennis Museum. Some participants from the original tour are here sharing their stories.
手上拿着毛泽东像，左边第一个是我，和我比赛那个美国的叫格兰科恩，男的长头发，喇叭裤，穿的衣服很另类，赢了他，跟我握手的时候，他说非常高兴你和我进行了一场认真的比赛，大家都竭尽全力比赛嘛，也是对对手的尊重嘛，所以这个交流的很愉快。
1 year later, the Chinese table tennis team visited the United States, and Bruce Reynolds helped host the Chinese team.
At that time, I was just a graduate student at the University of Michigan. I was studying China and studying economics, and my main professor, my thesis advisor, Alex Eckstein, was at that time the chair of this National Committee for U.S.-China Relations. My professor was in charge, and he had all his students to Lai Bangman to help.
What's your impression of the Chinese team back then?
Well, they were astonishing. They were so strong. I think that once in a while our team won a match or two, but I think that was just politeness, really. China is an amazing ping-pong power.
Another table tennis match is being held here. This time, each UVA student is paired with a student either from Fudan University or Shanghai University of Sport.
I think sometimes we forget how much similar we are, and I think such a sport like ping pong could bring us to the table and make us remember that at the end of the day, there is people who are trying to live day by day, who enjoy the sport, ping pong, have fun.
I met Yihui again, and she showed me their group photo taken at the Great Wall before they left Beijing.
We took many group photos, but one of our most significant group photos was the one where we tried to recreate the Time magazine when the American team came to China in 1971. And actually, right now, I think me and a few other people are so inspired to continue to try to find other study abroad opportunities to come back to China and do a full semester here instead of just 2 weeks. Yeah.
There are a lot of differences between the two countries on a political and diplomatic and economic level, but we're talking. President Xi and President Biden, I think, had a very successful meeting in California in November, and I think that's a very good sign.
While sports diplomacy will not solve all existing tensions, it certainly doesn't hurt if more Chinese and Americans get to know each other through a friendly competition. 53 years ago, the American table tennis team became an unlikely group of trailblazing diplomats. So maybe, just maybe, these students will turn out to be diplomats that shape the future of bilateral relations.